April is Child Abuse Prevention Month, a very important topic for parents, teachers, and guardians of all kinds. To help us recognize potential signs of abuse and to know what to do, we are joined by Will Bronstein and Andy Boyan from the Denver Children's Advocacy Center. Thank you so much, both of you, for being here today.
Yeah, certainly a hard topic. You guys do a lot of work on the ground when child abuse is, I guess found is the right word. Can you describe what it is that your organization does?
Sure. So at the Denver Children's Advocacy Center, we coordinate the response to child abuse in Denver by bringing together law enforcement, human services, and medical under one roof. So a child only has to tell their story once, ideally, in a safe environment. We also do a lot of work in prevention, which is really important. We reached over 4,500 students this past year because the sooner that a child is able to recognize that something is wrong and speak out, the better the outcome for them.
And what is your core message for people who might not know what to do when, you often hear people describe just something felt off. So what do you tell that person?
Go ahead.
Yeah, first, you're never wrong. If you have an instinct, or even if you have a feeling or you see something happening, reporting it is not wrong. The worst that can come out of it is that it's proven to be, we're wrong and that there's no abuse happening, which would be the best possible outcome. The worst is obviously that it is happening, but you did report it. So the very first thing is that you're never wrong. Please do report it. We've got a 1-844 number for you to call. 1-844-CO-KIDS actually is the number right there on the screen. Oh, CO4-KIDS, sorry. But it's a really important number to remember and also think about as you are out there watching and learning.
And when you make a report, it's confidential, it can be anonymous, so it's really just calling the hotline. And there are a couple signs to look out for, to pay attention to with kids. For example, if you're seeing a change in behavior, so a child is suddenly quiet, they're more withdrawn, or perhaps they're acting out more, that's a signal. You're looking for a big shift. Another big signal we look at is if a child is suddenly scared of a person or an environment, especially if they used to be comfortable in that environment. When you ask the child, they clam up, they don't want to talk about it. That's another signal that something could be off.
Yeah, I think it's empowering for you all to say, who are doing this work every day, that it's okay to trust your instincts and,
100%.
Being wrong, there are worse things, certainly. Also a myth you want to share with us that kind of, to dispel that, what is that in particular?
Yeah, so there's a myth that most abuse is by a stranger, the stranger danger idea, but most child sex abuse is perpetrated by someone that the child knows, someone that's in the child's world already. So not only is it a horrible crime, but it's a betrayal of trust that really can harm a child.
Yeah, the statistics are pretty alarming. 1 in 4 girls and 1 in 13 boys are abused by the time they're 15. So it's a scary number, but at the same time, it is happening. It's something to face. And in reality, we wish we didn't have to be here. We wish this wasn't a part of everyday society, but it is. It tends to get worse at different times of the year, different events happening, that kind of thing tends to get worse. So we always want to be vigilant and watch out for it, and at the same time, remain, steadfast in the support of those that are victims, particularly.
That's why I'm glad we're talking about it, right? So what are some of the signs that we should be aware of or to look for?
Yeah, so I think, like I was saying, if a child changes their behavior, if you're seeing that change in behavior, if you're seeing a change where a child used to be comfortable with someone or someplace and they no longer are.
Anything from the perpetrator, so to speak, or the predator? Like, is there anything that, for instance, I was always told when I was young, a safe adult won't tell you to keep a secret. So anything else like that we can be aware of or we can tell our kids?
Yeah, no, that's the type of education that's so important, is teaching your kids. There are no secrets between parents. There are no secrets with any other adults. If someone says that, come to me, come to the caretaker immediately, because that is a red flag. And unfortunately, those are harder to catch. Typically, we'll see it more from the kid or from the relationship you're seeing. And that's why it's so important to trust your instincts.
The other thing is to make sure that the child understands who and who is not appropriate to touch them, and what is a safe touch and what is not a safe touch. So, for example, mom, dad, or doctor specifically. You know, when my kids were young, it was all about that. It was all about making sure that and what is considered something okay and what is not considered okay. And as long as the children feel like they understand that or have a sense of it, they'll know or have an instinct about what is right and what is wrong, and they'll be able to tell it. Or if they don't tell it, to Will's point, they might show some attributes that sort of give you a red flag that it's time to start talking about it.
Wow. Okay. I think you left us with a lot there to think about. Thank you for the
Hard
work
subject,
that you do.
for sure.
It is. I mean, but you're out there doing the work every day. So we're so grateful for everything that you guys
Thanks
do.
for having us on.
Thank you.
Thank you.